The greatest surprise in the world of international entertainment as well as global sports appeared in a moment never imagined before. Can a single throw shake a legendary stadium, trigger the hysteria of millions of fans, and even leave his own groupmate in a state of astonishment? This is the very question that shook the public when Kim Taehyung, better known by his stage name V from BTS, stepped onto the mound at Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, to deliver the ceremonial first pitch. The scene seemed to erase the boundary between pop music and sports, igniting endless discussions spreading through social media, global forums, and news coverage across continents. But why was one brief moment on a baseball field able to cause such a powerful effect? And what is the meaning of these words? "This is for Army and baseball fans," which then became the most viral quote across the entire network. The crowd erupted in cheers from the very first step Taehyung appeared on the stadium's giant screen. Wearing a Dodgers jersey with the number 7, he walked with full confidence, as if he already understood that the world's spotlight was now focused solely on him. The audience stood, some shedding tears, while Army present in the stadium screamed with all their might. The atmosphere that should have been the routine of a regular game suddenly turned into a global cultural performance. Television cameras not only captured the figure of V, but also showed how the reactions of thousands of eyes reflected disbelief that a world-class K-pop star now stood in the middle of a Major League Baseball field. That was when his words were heard clearly. "This is for Army and baseball fans." A brief statement, yet loaded with symbolic meaning, as if wanting to connect two worlds that rarely intersect. The pitch itself became the center of attention. With smooth motion, full precision, the ball sped quickly and landed right into the catcher's glove. No mistakes, no hesitation, as if he had trained for years for this very moment. The stadium roared, cheers mixed with tears of joy, while video recordings from various angles instantly flooded social media. Within minutes, the keyword, Taehyung at Dodgers, occupied the global trending topic. Was the pitch merely a symbolic ceremony? Or was there a deeper message he wanted to convey through such a simple gesture? What made the situation even more emotional was Jungkook's presence among the crowd. Usually calm, Jungkook this time was caught on camera several times with expressions full of intensity. He clapped, he smiled, but at certain moments he seemed almost to hold back something deeper. Fans immediately speculated. Was it pride? Was it a sign of admiration? Or were there memories and private conversations behind the scenes that made Jungkook's reaction so different? These questions further strengthened speculation that what happened at Dodger Stadium was not just a first pitch by a celebrity, but rather a symbol of something broader about the dynamics of BTS. Undeniably, the relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook often becomes the focus of Army's attention. Their presence in one frame during this Dodgers moment reignited discussions that had never truly died down. The camera repeatedly zoomed in on Jungkook's face, raising the question, was this coincidence? Or was there an intentional move by the production team to highlight the contrast of emotions between the one throwing the ball and the one watching from the stands? Many fans believed that this visual emphasis was not coincidence. Everything seemed arranged for the public to realize how great the emotional charge surrounding this event truly was. Behind all the grandeur, Taehyung's quote became the center of the narrative. "This is for Army and baseball fans." The words were simple but explosive. Army interpreted it as proof of a love that never fades even though the group is currently on hiatus due to other obligations. Meanwhile, the baseball community regarded the moment as proof that their sport could now reach a new demographic thanks to the magnetic pull of a global artist. The question is, was the phrase only a spontaneous remark, or a deliberately prepared message to strengthen the connection across different audiences? This then sparked in-depth analysis from pop culture and sports observers alike. Public reaction reinforced the perception that this was no ordinary moment. Dodgers ticket sales skyrocketed after the announcement of his appearance. International media covered the event as a fusion of two worlds, erasing the boundary between music and sports. Some even dubbed V as a lucky charm, because the Dodgers went on to win the game after the ceremonial pitch. This phenomenon made Army increasingly convinced that V's presence had real impact, not just spectacle. But was this luck merely coincidence? Or was there a symbolic belief that his presence truly brought fortune to the home team? Critical questions also emerged from another angle. Why was Taehyung the one chosen to appear on the Dodgers field at this time? Why not another BTS member? Was this merely an individual appearance, or part of a larger strategy behind the scenes? Many speculated that selecting Taehyung was not without reason. His charisma, his image as a multi-talented artist, and his closeness with international audiences were deemed ideal to create global resonance. Yet the debate continued. Was this the beginning of a new era for BTS, where each member begins leaving individual marks on stages, even beyond music? Meanwhile, Jungkook's almost emotional expressions remained the hottest topic of discussion. Many ARMY argued that his gaze contained personal meaning that could not be fully understood by the public. Some viewed it as a sign of deep support, others saw it as a reflection of the emotional pressures they were enduring together. Whatever the interpretation, no one could deny that the indirect interaction between Taehyung on the field and Jungkook in the stands created one of the most emotional moments in BTS history. In such a short time, the world witnessed how a single pitch could change the landscape of global discussion. From live broadcasts replayed repeatedly to countless ARMY posts, everyone agreed that night held important meaning. Yet a fundamental question remains. Will this become a fleeting memory, or someday be remembered as a turning point in BTS's journey? Was Taehyung's phrase, "This is for ARMY and baseball fans," merely a simple expression, or a symbolic declaration about the continuity of their influence during this time of transition? This event proved that BTS, even in the midst of their individual busyness, could still shake the world in unexpected ways. Taehyung's throw was not just a hand motion sending a ball, but a representation of symbolic power able to transcend cultural, linguistic, and industry boundaries. When ARMY cried in the stands and baseball fans looked on in awe, the world realized that this phenomenon was bigger than sports, bigger than music, and bigger than an individual celebration. This was the point where history was created, not because of a game score, but because of the presence of one figure who could connect millions of hearts across the globe. But in the end, the greatest spotlight fell on his words, simple yet full of meaning. "This is for ARMY and baseball fans." Those words now echo across platforms, translated into dozens of languages, shared millions of times, and made into a symbol of loyalty. The lingering question is, did Taehyung truly realize the impact of those words when he spoke them? Or is this proof that every move, every word, every moment from BTS can never be underestimated, because it always carries emotional and cultural consequences far larger than what appears on the surface? One thing is certain, the world now has a new memory never to be forgotten, a pitch that was not merely sport, but also history. News of Taehyung delivering the first pitch at Dodger Stadium indeed became an extraordinary highlight worldwide. Yet was the event truly as reported? Or was there actually an element of fabrication deliberately crafted to create global sensation? This question must become our starting point of reflection. Because in a situation where information can be easily produced and spread, it is crucial for the public not only to focus on what is displayed on the screen, but also to probe the motives, narratives, and purposes that may lie hidden behind a moment. If indeed Taehyung stood on the field, threw the first ball, then delivered the emotional phrase, "This is for ARMY and baseball fans around the world," then the impact would of course be immense. But did we truly witness a real event, or were we only presented with footage already arranged in such a way? Was the moment authentic, or merely a constructed narrative fragment designed to create instant uproar online? Furthermore, why did a club as big as the Dodgers choose Taehyung as the one standing in the middle of the field? Was it due to his global popularity, or was there another more strategic intent? Such questions must be raised, because we live in an era where sports, music, and entertainment often intertwine with industrial, political, and media interests. Was Taehyung's presence purely to celebrate cross-cultural friendship, or part of a major promotional agenda targeting millions of fans worldwide? Social media became the main channel amplifying this news. TikTok was filled with clips showing Taehyung on the field. YouTube displayed analysis and reactions. Twitter was flooded with hashtags that made the moment trend. while entertainment news portals wrote about it as if it were absolute fact. Yet are we allowed to accept all this without deeper verification? What if the footage was merely edited content, or even fan-made material later mistaken as reality? How big is the possibility of hoaxes seeping into our perception when Taehyung's alleged words, "This is for ARMY and baseball fans," spread widely? Were they truly spoken in the stadium before thousands of witnesses, or just the result of dubbing or free interpretation attached by certain media? The public often accepts audio-visual material without questioning the authenticity of its source. This is where skepticism becomes essential. Are we watching truth, or being deceived by a collective illusion deliberately created? We must also weigh the psychological effects produced by this news. For ARMY, reports of Taehyung performing in an international baseball arena certainly triggered pride, emotion, even tears. But did these emotions arise from authentic reality, or from scenarios neatly built by certain parties? Could it be that the pride was merely the product of media narrative, not actual reality? Furthermore, what if the moment was merely a simulation or a media collaboration project arranged for certain promotional purposes? Would that mean millions worldwide had been led to believe in something that never happened? Such questions must be asked seriously, because in modern entertainment, the line between reality and illusion often blurs. If indeed Taehyung stood on the Dodgers field, then the event would be recorded in history as a convergence between K-pop and American sports. But if not, then the world was witnessing how the power of digital narrative can create alternative realities believed by millions. How can we distinguish between the two? Does this not require accuracy, research, and caution in responding to every piece of information? Therefore, we invite readers to reflect. Are you fully convinced that this event truly happened? Is the existing evidence strong enough to declare its truth? Or are there many gaps that raise doubt? Do we want to be passive consumers of information, or critical observers able to weigh fact from fiction? Every detail must be questioned. Was it truly Taehyung's voice, or merely an edited result? Did the Dodgers truly grant this special opportunity, or was it only a rumor deliberately exaggerated by media? Did the phrase "this is for ARMY and baseball fans" ever get spoken, or was it just an imaginary expression quoted without basis? We must remember that all information currently circulating originates from social media such as TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. These sources are indeed powerful in spreading news, but they are vulnerable to manipulation, framing, and misinformation. Without independent verification, how can we ensure the authenticity of an event? Are we willing to trust every piece of information simply because it appears convincing? Thus, this article is not only about Taehyung and the Dodgers, but also about us as consumers of information. Are we ready to be critical, skeptical, and reflective? Or are we more comfortable accepting every story without caring whether it is reality or illusion? Now is the time for the public to ask, did Taehyung's first pitch at the Dodgers truly happen? Or was it just a story deliberately crafted to shock the world? The answer cannot be found instantly. Only through vigilance, critical analysis, and courage to question can we approach the truth behind this shaking news.